Welcome to Bible Truth Global. Asia is a remarkable continent, home to some of the world's oldest civilizations and most deeply rooted cultures. Among the many peoples of this vast region, the Filipinos stand out for their extraordinary diversity and rich heritage. But have you ever stopped to ask, does the Bible say anything about the origin of the Filipino people? That's exactly what we're exploring today. In this video, we'll examine possible biblical connections to the peoples of the Philippines, tracing ancient lineages, uncovering historical curiosities, and connecting scripture to the story of a nation. This is one of our most requested topics, and it's part of our ongoing series exploring the origins of all peoples according to the Bible. If you find this valuable, please like, share it with a friend, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Now, let's begin. Geography of the Philippines. The Philippines, officially the Republic of the Philippines, is an archipelagic nation in Southeast Asia, nestled in the Western Pacific Ocean. It consists of 7,641 islands spanning roughly 300,000 square kilometers. These islands are broadly organized into three geographic regions, from north to south: Luzon, the Visayas, and Mindanao. The country is bordered by the South China Sea to the west, the Philippine Sea to the east, and the Salabas Sea to the south. Its maritime neighbors include Taiwan to the north, Japan to the northeast, Palau to the east, Indonesia to the south, Malaysia to the southwest, Vietnam to the west, and China to the northwest. The Philippines ranks as the 12th most populous country in the world, with a population that is remarkably diverse in ethnicity and culture. The capital is Manila, though Quezon City holds the title of most populous city, both situated within the Greater Manila metropolitan area. A brief history. The earliest known inhabitants of the Philippines were the Negritos, followed by successive waves of Austronesian peoples. Among these early populations we find descendants of Ham, one of Noah's sons, traceable through several tribal lines. Over time, animism, Hinduism with Buddhist elements, and Islam all left their mark on the islands, giving rise to kingdoms and sultanates governed by datus, rajas and sultans. Flourishing trade with the Tang and Song dynasties of China also brought waves of Chinese settlers who gradually integrated with the local population. The era of European contact began when Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer sailing under the Castilian crown, arrived in the archipelago. In 1543, Spanish explorer Ruy López de Villalobos named the islands Las Islas Filipinas in honor of Prince Philip of Castile, the future King Philip II. Formal Spanish colonization commenced in 1565, placing the Philippines under the Spanish Empire for more than 3 centuries. During this period, Catholic Christianity became the dominant faith, and Manila rose to prominence as the western hub of trans-Pacific trade. The Philippine Revolution erupted in 1896, and the Spanish-American War of 1898 brought sweeping change. Following Spain's defeat, the territory was ceded to the United States, even as Filipino revolutionaries declared the First Philippine Republic. The Philippine-American War that followed ended with the United States assuming full control, a period that lasted until the Japanese occupation during World War II. After liberation, the Philippines formally gained independence on July 4, 1946. The name Philippines. The etymology of the name traces back to Ruy López de Villalobos, who during his 1542 expedition named the islands of Leyte and Samar Filipinas, in honor of the crown prince who would become Philip II of Castile. Over time, Las Islas Filipinas became the designation for all Spanish-held territory in the archipelago. Prior to this, various names were used: Islas del Poniente, Western Islands; Islas del Oriente, Eastern Islands; and San Lázaro, the name Magellan himself had given the islands. During the Philippine Revolution, the Malolos Congress proclaimed the Philippine Republic. American colonial authorities translated the Spanish name, referring to the country as the Philippine Islands, before gradually adopting simply Philippines. The official title, Republic of the Philippines, was enshrined in the 1935 Constitution and has remained unchanged through every subsequent revision. Ethnic diversity. The ethnic landscape of the Philippines is extraordinarily varied, shaped by both the archipelago's fragmented geography and centuries of outside influence. According to the 2020 census, The largest ethnic groups include the Tagalog at 26%, Bisaya at 14.3%, Ilocano, Hiligaynon, Waray, Kapampangan, Bicolano, and Cebuano, among others. The country is also home to 110 indigenous ethno-linguistic groups, representing about 15.56% of the population in 2020. These include the Igorot, Lumad, Mangyan, and the indigenous peoples of Palawan. The Negritos are considered the Philippines' oldest inhabitants, an aboriginal minority of Australoid descent, representing one of the earliest human migrations out of Africa toward Australia, later displaced by subsequent waves of migration. The broader Filipino population belongs to several Southeast Asian ethnic groups, classified linguistically as Austronesian-speaking Malayo-Polynesian languages. While the precise origins of the Austronesian population remain debated, it is widely believed that relatives of Taiwan's aboriginal peoples brought their languages to the archipelago and intermingled with existing communities. The Lumad and Sabanan ethnic groups show ancestral affinities with Austroasiatic-speaking peoples of mainland Southeast Asia, such as the Tin and Mon Khmer peoples. There is also evidence of expansion from eastern Indonesia and Papua New Guinea into Mindanao, detectable in groups like the Blayan. A 2016 National Geographic genetic study found that Filipinos carry, on average, 53% Southeast Asian and Oceanic ancestry, 36% East Asian, 5% Southern European, 3% South Asian, and 2% Native American, reflecting centuries of migration, trade, and intermingling. Descendants of mixed heritage are known as mestizos, or Tizoy. During the Spanish colonial era, the most common mixed groups were Chinese mestizos and Spanish mestizos, Today, Chinese Filipinos are well integrated into Filipino society, most descending from Fujianese immigrants of the early 20th century. By the American colonial period, an estimated 22.8 million Filipinos, roughly 20% of the population, had some degree of Chinese ancestry. Other notable communities include Indians, Arabs, and Japanese Filipinos, among them descendants of Kirishidan Christians who fled persecution under Shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu. Language Filipino and English serve as the country's two official languages. Filipino, a standardized form of Tagalog, is widely spoken in the Manila metropolitan area and used across government, education, media, and commerce. Code switching between English and local languages, particularly Tagalog, is common throughout daily life. The Philippine Constitution also allows for the optional instruction of Spanish and Arabic. Though Spanish functioned as a lingua franca in the late 19th century, its everyday use has since declined. Though Spanish loanwords remain deeply embedded in Philippine languages, the biblical origins of the Filipino peoples. Now we arrive at the heart of this video, the biblical origin of the Filipinos. Based on the genealogical table in Genesis 10, commonly known as the Table of Nations, the origin of the Filipino peoples can be traced to the lineage of Japheth, one of Noah's 3 sons. More specifically, the line of descent runs through Tiras, son of Gomer, who was himself a son of Japheth. Tiras is regarded as one of the earliest patriarchal ancestors of the Filipino peoples, as well as of other Asian peoples and some indigenous populations of the Americas and Siberia. This connection is not merely genealogical. It is also reflected in physical characteristics common among Filipinos, such as almond-shaped eyes and straight dark hair. These features point to Asian descent consistent with the lineage of Tiras. It is important to note, however, that Tiras represents one ancestral line among several. The Filipino people have a genuinely diverse heritage, which we will continue to address. The role of Ham. The ancestry of the Filipino peoples does not end with Japheth. There is a secondary ancestral thread that leads to Ham, another of Noah's sons, and specifically to one of the Hamitic tribes historically associated with darker-skinned peoples. The light brown or tan complexion common among Filipinos reflects this Hamitic influence. The intermingling of Tiras's descendants, who tended toward features like almond-shaped eyes and lighter pigmentation, with Hamitic tribal groups associated with darker skin tones, produced the characteristic brown complexion seen across the Filipino population today. Interestingly, the name Tiras carries an etymology related to meanings such as broken or drawn out. which some scholars associate with the distinctive almond shape of the eyes found in Tiras and his descendants. Conclusion. In summary, the biblical origin of the Filipino people traces back through two primary lineages, through Japheth by way of Tiras and through Ham by way of one of the Hamitic tribes. Together, these two ancestral threads, as mapped in Genesis 10, help explain the diverse yet distinct characteristics of the Filipino people as we know them today. We hope you found this exploration meaningful. If you did, please give this video a like. It helps the channel reach more people. And drop a comment below if you have Filipino heritage yourself. We'd love to hear from you. God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.